Hi everybody, my name is Ryan and welcome back to Project Mustelon, the Weasel Seed World project. To start with, I'm glad so many people enjoyed the previous episode. It's nice to know that you guys are genuinely excited about this series, and I hope to continue making things interesting as it goes on. In this episode, we'll be taking a look at the largest habitat in the world, just after marine habitats, the grasslands. At first glance, these expansive habitats might seem empty and barren, but the grasses that inhabit these places form the basis of a complex food web that supports some of the largest herbivores as well as the largest carnivores. And as we move on to the later stages of the Incepticene, life on Mustelon is indeed getting bigger. To start off with, we'll be taking a look at one of my personal favorite creatures of this episode, Canamustela crenalis, the crested wackle. These swift predators are descended from the long-tailed weasel and have evolved to fill a niche similar to that of jackals or coyotes. Their most notable feature is, of course, the crest of fur on the top of their heads, which they can actually raise and lower at will as a social signal to other members of their kind. While capable hunters, crested wackles can often be found scavenging the kills of larger carnivores, and their crests help to establish dominance and a sort of pecking order at a kill site. This is especially the case among family units, where the dominant breeding pair, who are most often the parents of the other members of their group, will flash their crests as a reminder that they get to eat before anyone else. In Episode 1, I discussed the stinkhound, a skunk descendant that arose during an evolutionary scramble to take advantage of open niches. While striped skunks themselves tend to be more omnivorous, the stinkhound was the skunk family's attempt to fill the niche of a larger carnivore. However, they've had a rough time competing with other species, such as the much more carnivorous wackles, who fill a similar niche to them. However, one member of the skunk lineage has managed to do quite well for themselves in the niche of a mid-sized omnivore. This is Mephirodon arctodonta, the musk fox. The main key to their success is due to the fact that they're generalists, and don't put all their stock into one particular food source. They eat anything from insects, to berries, to fruits, to fish, to tubers, to lizards, to small mammals, and everything in between. If any skunk lineage has a bright future in this new world, the musk fox is definitely a strong contender. The musk fox and the crested wackle both like to take advantage of scavenging the kills of larger predators, but just what kind of big hunters are stalking the grasslands of Mustelon? Say hello to Guloleon robustus, the plains lurcher. They are a wolverine descendant that branched off from their more arboreal cousin, the panther glutton, and have also converged on a niche similar to that of a big cat. Like any mustelid, especially a wolverine, these carnivores are ruthlessly efficient hunters. An ambush hunter, the plains lurcher often lies in wait for their prey to come just within striking range, and will use their robust forelimbs to subdue their quarry before using their immensely powerful jaws to snap the neck and sever the spine, killing the prey quickly and efficiently. The lurchers are fiercely territorial and will not tolerate other members of their species in their territory, and confrontations can often be deadly, so they usually steer clear of each other outside of the mating season. The plains lurchers aren't the only big carnivores to make their living on the grasslands. However, the next predator we'll be looking at has a rather unusual way of surviving compared to the other denizens of the open plains. Meet Myrmebagerus formivax, aka the ant badger. As the name implies, these badger descendants have adapted to take advantage of a food source that few other animals their size have. Insects, such as ants and termites, make up a surprising majority of their diets. Ant badgers will use their long claws to break into ant hills and termite mounds, and shoot their long tongue out of their elongated snouts to lap up vast quantities of the insects. Thick saliva and tough skin protect the ant badgers from the majority of insect stings, but even an animal as big as them can only take so much for so long. A large carnivore evolving to eat something so small may seem odd, but on Earth, sloth bears have evolved a very similar lifestyle with tremendous success. Although, just like any other predator of the plains, ant badgers are not above a bit of scavenging to supplement their diet from time to time. I'm sure most of you are wondering what exactly kind of prey these large predators are hunting. Grasslands on Earth support a wide variety of herbivores, and Mustelon is much the same. The first herbivore we'll be looking at is Kangamerus velasi, the common runaroo. These bizarre-looking grazers look like a mix of kangaroo and ornithomimid dinosaur. Strangely enough, however, these are actually descendants of the deer mice introduced to Mustelon at the beginning of the project. Over many generations, some mice evolved a body plan similar to that of a spring hare. As time went on, rather than hopping, these mice used their hind legs to fill the niche of a running herbivore and evolved thicker tails as a means of balance, and soon became one of the most common herbivores on the grasslands of the planet, with a lifestyle similar to that of deer and antelope on Earth. But the name common runaroo implies that there are other members of the runaroo family. One of the most notable is Proceromus alticolus, the long-necked runneroo. Like its cousin, the common runneroo, long-necked runneroos do graze on grass, but their height also allows them to browse on higher vegetation than other herbivores can, not unlike the gerenuk of planet Earth. Their taller stature also means that they often spot danger sooner than other herbivores, and so other grazers will usually hang around with long-necked runneroos, with the tall browsers acting as sentries to warn everyone when a predator is spotted. The biggest herbivore on the grasslands and current contender for the largest land animal on Mustelon is Megalomarmota cornutus, or as I call them, bruisers. These titanic grazers are cousins of the prairie hogs, which in turn are descendants of the tiny black-tailed prairie dogs. The bruisers have converged on a body plan similar to that of a rhino with the lifestyle of a bison, and have evolved a large, keratinous nasal boss similar to that of a pachyrhinosaurus. Throughout Earth's history, the rhino body plan has been extremely successful for many species from many different time periods, so it's no surprise that it's evolved here on Mustelon as well. As I mentioned earlier, bruisers have a lifestyle similar to that of bison, and live together in vast herds for protection from predators. Males will constantly butt heads to assert dominance and win groups of females to reproduce with. Few predators, even the plains lurcher, would dare to take on a healthy adult bruiser. It's the calves, the old, and the sickly that are most at risk. Luckily, though, the bonds between herd members are strong, and mothers won't give up their calves without a fight. Even unrelated adults will respond to the calls of a calf in danger and rush into the rescue. Alright, now I know a lot of you are excited by the evolution of anoles on planet Mustelon, and I briefly talked about one of their descendants in the previous episode. This time, I actually have two to talk about. The first one we'll be looking at is Anolavarus monitorii, the veranole. Rather than adapting to glide, this anole descendant went the route of the monitor lizards of Earth and grew significantly larger than its green anole ancestors. The diet of the veranole is varied and consists of insects, small mammals, and even their much smaller cousins. Much like the other predators of the plains, the veranole isn't above scavenging the kills of other animals, but usually waits out of sight until the larger scavengers have had their fill, or they may end up becoming a meal themselves. Although they are fully capable of climbing trees, veranoles usually prefer to make their homes in underground burrows. Females especially love to take advantage of abandoned burrows dug by other animals to lay their eggs in, usually a clutch of about 20 to 25. However, once she has laid the eggs and concealed the burrow, the female will abandon her eggs, as is the way of many reptile species. After incubating for about 6 months, the young hatch ready to fend for themselves and instinctively begin looking for food. The second anole descendant, and the last animal we'll be looking at for this episode, is Dracoanolus pratinus, the grassland glider. You might think that in an environment with so few trees, it wouldn't make sense to be able to glide, but the grassland gliders have adopted a unique lifestyle to that of their forest-dwelling cousins. These anoles spend most of their lives hanging around on the backs of grazing herbivores like the bruisers. From the ground, they climb up onto the backs of the grazers and eat the pesky insects like ticks and biting flies that plague the bruisers. Then, when they've eaten all they can from one bruiser, they glide to the back of another bruiser and eat the insects bothering that one too. The bruisers get a cleaning, and the gliders get a meal and protection from predators on the ground that might want to eat them. They are one of many examples of a symbiotic relationship that are to evolve on planet Mustelon. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching this entry of Project Mustelon as I did making it. In the next episode, we'll finally get a look at what our good friends the otters and the fish have been up to. If you'd like to support this project eventually becoming a printed book, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Patrons get access to all kinds of rewards, including sneak peeks at drawings in progress, early access to YouTube videos, your name in the credits of YouTube videos, and early looks at Mustelon species that'll be exclusive to the book. Thank you all again, and until next time, stay creative and stay curious.